to another episode of Railroads Online with me, Carburetor. I know it has been a really long time since I've made an episode on this railway, and to be honest, I totally fell off from this. The game kind of became unfun. I wasn't having fun playing it. It became very tedious, and then they started doing updates, and there was hints that it was going to be entering into a beta phase. And I was kind of like, okay, I'm going to wait for the beta phase to kind of, settle in and whatnot. Well, after a few months of it being in beta form, I figured, you know what? Time for me to give this another go. So this is a fresh new world, but you will see that there are certain layout patterns that are very similar to what I had before. I decided to keep what worked for me before and improve what didn't. So this is the new and improved version, or at least in my opinion. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide if it's new and improved. But there are several new things. First off, track laying is so much easier. So if I need to exit out of third person and go into the menu, the rails are now part of the groundwork, which makes this so much easier, especially for bridges and for walls. I don't know if you guys remember, but I would go through and I would lay down my groundwork, then I would lay rail, then I would delete the groundwork and go back through and lay the groundwork so that it was centered on the rails, but then, oh, well, I don't like this section, so I'm going to it was tedious to the nth degree. This makes it so much easier. They did install a larger turntable also. I don't remember if this was in here when I was in here. And last but not least, they did install the bumper. And this bumper is really nice for making sidings. So I've decided to go with a few more sidings. I didn't really have I really tried hard to avoid sidings before. Well, not going to do it anymore. But anyway, so I figured I would show you guys around the map. This is just going to be an around the map expedition. I've already shown you guys a lot of my other I've shown you guys how I build stuff and whatnot, so I don't really need to go back through and create episodes on how to build it. So I'm just going to have a nice quiet episode of going around the track. The very first one, we are going to go to the logging camp and pick up some cordwood. So let's give the whistle a little toot toot. And away we go. Sorry if you hear my phone dinging there. My phone's going off in my pocket. I'm thinking about kind of redoing this a little bit. I'd like to pull it back just a little bit, but this offshoot to the right here will be going towards the other industries over the oil field, the ironworks, and the refinery. So, yeah. But we're not at that point yet, so right now we're going to go to the logging camp. From the logging camp, we're going to go to the lumber mill, and from the lumber mill, we're going to go up to the coal mine and then down to the ironworks. We're actually going to pass through the sawmill first, but I don't want to spoil too much. Let's just say that I decided to make things a little bit more simpler and try and keep switches out. That's another thing. The switches are automatic now. So the switches didn't used to be automatic. Now they are. So as you drive over, they will flick to one side. Now this is kind of annoying because you kind of have to make sure that you're going to go the right way. I would like if they had actual sprung switches that you could set them to go in one direction, drive over it, they let you go through, and then they spring back to the other side, but I totally get why they don't. I can't imagine that mechanism would be very easy to make, in-game at least. So, that's back at the freight depot. We've just done a little loop here. Something I do need to consider is how am I going to loop back if I'm coming from the oil fields and I need to loop back over there. I'll probably just make a loop around this little mound like I had in my previous world, but for now I decided not to. This is the new rail yard. Really, really, really big rail yard. And I need to be looking around here because I yeeted some stake beds out of here. I was backing up and then all of a sudden they just went flying and I have no idea where they went. I'm gonna bet it's a So that's another thing I want to touch on. The trains run so much smoother now since the spline update. I will say that I've had to do very few re-rails. I'm gonna take responsibility for those rail cars yeeting. Kind of looked like I saw one out there in the distance, but I can't confirm. But most of the problems that I've had have been my own fault. I've only had to re-rail like once or twice, and I take responsibility for that because I think my internet kind of lagged out for a second and it did some wonky things as I was pushing back. So yeah, I'm gonna take responsibility and say that it was my fault. So if I remember right, for station call, it's one long and one short. So and that'll be out towards the logging camp. I did make it loopable so you can loop back if you need to. I don't really know why I did because the route that I've decided to set up, I'm going to loop around the logging camp and then come back down here, pick up some stuff from the lumber mill, and then from the lumber mill go back up. But it's, it still works, so. Oh, wrong way, wrong way. This is what I mean, you gotta be careful because I didn't want to go this way. I wanted to go to the right. I will say the weights of the vehicles feel a lot more realistic now. Before, it definitely felt kind of cartoonish, video game-ish. Now you can actually kind of feel the weight of the locomotives, especially with Betsy. Betsy was so overpowered before, and now it feels much more like a train of its caliber, where it's not just taking off with 1 billion pounds of cargo like it's nothing. I would like to add another switch here to add a crossover, but I'm hoping that they add a 30-degree or 60-degree crossover. So you can see here in the track construction, we have our 90-degree crossover. From what I understand of speaking with, or of listening to Heist, I shouldn't say speaking with, but of listening to Heist, they are looking at instituting a 60-degree and a 90-degree crossover, or a 30-degree crossover. They haven't done it yet, but this game is still in pre-release format, so I totally get it. I'm so glad also that I didn't take out all these trees because I didn't really know where I was going before. I didn't I would take out a lot of trees and it left it kind of barren. And I'm so glad that I was able to leave a lot of trees. There are still some missing, like right here, but it's a lot better than it was, and it looks a lot more natural this way. Plus, I mean, in nature, you're going to have sparse areas where obviously, like a tree didn't grow or whatever. So I'm going to write it off as that. Plus, I need a space for rails. So let's see which way this takes us. I believe this is going to take us to the left. Yep. And right into the logging camp. Let's kill the regulator and start braking. We're gonna overshoot that. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna load up and then get back to you guys in a little bit. Alright, I'm all done playing Crane Clicking Simulator, as some people like to call it. I wanted to just take a second to show you guys just how easy this is. Now, I have no idea why I put the siding here. I kind of liked it. There's no real reason for it to be here, but I'm going to delete it just to show you guys how easy this is. So, first off, these 3 different levels. These are just how much groundwork goes underneath it. I typically work with the level 3 because that's the most groundwork, and it leaves no spaces underneath. Also, so it won't let you place it if there's space underneath the groundwork. You can work around it a little bit, but for most part, it doesn't let you. So there's 2 modes. Right now, I'm in just random connect mode. I can come over here, hit connect, and it'll automatically snap into place, and look how beautiful that looks. Or there's circle mode, where I can connect. I engage my circle mode, and I can play. I have it linked to my arrow pad, but you can play with how the radius is and whatnot. And play with it that way. I'm just going to hit the plus sign here and just reconnect it, and it's just that easy, and it's just that fun. But anyway, let's get going. I don't know why I put all these bypasses in here, but I figured it'd be smart if I have multiple players on at some point, that they can bypass somebody who's at the logging camp. Like, let's say there's somebody filling up with logs. I can go over there, flip a switch, and bypass them. And right there, actually, that's my excuse for that little siding, because if somebody needs to duck in to get out of the way of me passing, there they go. That's their little siding. Sorry, I was opening a soda. I was hoping it would be discreet. Pepsi. Yeah, you can see like where the groundwork stops right there. It doesn't bother me too much because you only kind of notice it if you're looking for it. And I do plan on going back through and fixing it, but yeah. And believe it or not, this is basically going to be the blueprint for my runs up to the coal mine when I get a larger locomotive. So I'm looking at getting the I should kind of be showing you guys the surrounding area instead of putzing around in here. So this is Betsy. This is Betsy 2. And then this is the next one I'm going to be going over. And I'm going to be 100% honest here. I'm going to be taking inspiration from Thomas the Tank Engine when I name these trains. So I'll let you guess what I'm going to name this guy and what I'm going to be renaming my Betsy. But then you got the good old Montezuma. This is basically a smaller version of the Eureka. Then you got the Glenbrook. You got the Climax. You got the Heisler. And then you got the Shea. You got the Muska. And you have the Cook Mogul. And the DNRG Class 70. And they are saying they're going to be adding in more locomotives. I can't wait. I should have pointed out where I'm going to be having my locomotives. They were in that siding there. There were little branch offs with little buffers. I should have shown those, but oh well. All right. Hop off the regulator and start braking here. Yeah, they changed the mathematics of the of dropping off stuff. So I only need 1 car of planks, 1 car of boards, and it gets me 15 of the iron ore, which is really nice. I have to say that is a really nice uh, feature where I'm not bringing in a crap load of resources and making it a very grindy game. That was maybe my biggest pet peeve from before, and I need to pull forward just a little bit more. I underestimate. I kind of wish they'd add flags or signs to this still. They've been saying that they're going to be doing it, but they haven't yet. I'm gonna get myself all loaded up, and then I'll touch back in with you guys when we're leaving this when we're leaving the lumber the is this lumber mill? Yeah, the lumber mill. All right, and we are all loaded up here, and I just wanted to point this out. Something also an improvement that they made that I really like is that as you use 2 lumber or 2 beam, it'll take a log out. So if you fill up with 6 lumber, you're going to lose 3 logs. And then if you fill up with 3 of the beams, you're going to lose 1.5 logs. That's why this number was a little off up here. That's because it just pulls in logs as it needs. So if you just sit here and just load beams, it'll keep on refilling with beams. You won't use up all your beams, which I really like because I don't have to play the balancing act of trying to keep them as balanced that they don't unbalance. But that was part of my OCD, and I'm so glad they fixed it. In my opinion, it's so much better. They do still need to fix the the firewood depot, because if you pull from one stack, it doesn't start refilling that stack until you pull from all of the stacks. But to each their own, you know. So as you can see, there's definitely a weight in this now. Am I going the right way? I'm not. Going left here. Crap. Back it up. And away we go. I'm actually gonna let this thing just coast. I need to go up here and flick a switch, so. Not exactly safe railroading practices, but oh well. So this is the line up to the coal mine, or up to the iron mine. I don't know why I said coal mine. Iron mine. We're gonna need some speed here, so. Luckily, the Betsy still has quite a bit of takeoff power, so. And I will say this is the heaviest load I brought up to the iron mine yet. I made this run once already without the hopper car, but now that I have the hopper car, I'm a little bit heavier than I was that last time. And Betsy did it all right, but she did kind of struggle, which makes me really glad I made this all 2 or 2.5% grade going up through here, because yeah, definitely need it. It does make me a little bit worried about coming out of the hole though, where the refinery is, because yeah, I had to kind of increase the grade there. I think it's 3 or 3.5%. Still love that you can see the smoke in off the chimneys in the distance. That is so cool. Look at these bridges. Holy crap! This I really like the way this came out. This looks gorgeous. I still wish they'd fix the hitboxes so you can't walk underneath these bridges, which makes me very bummed out. I need to fix those hitboxes. According to According to somebody I know, they said it's a simplified hitbox mechanic, which I get they need to do to make things simple, and maybe as the game progresses, they can make it more complex. This I absolutely love. So I think this is one of 2 steel trestles in game so far, and you actually have the track going underneath it. Now I had to kind of do a little S curve to go underneath it straight, but at least I made it work, and I think it looks fantastic. The other steel bridge is down in the valley, and that's because it was a little too high up. So if the bridge doesn't touch the ground, it doesn't let you place it. And I really didn't want to rework my entire rail line to make it fit. So I just said, screw it. The steel bridge is a little bit taller. Gives you a little bit more to work with. So I just, screw it. There you go. I don't know how realistic this is. This seems kind of unrealistic. I don't even think the Polar Express would have done anything this unrealistic, but I like it. I think it looks fantastic. You can see the trestle coming up from the refinery. No, not the refinery. I'm still waking up. I'm still a little tired. So this is all 2 or 2.5% in here. I think this is all 2% in here, if I remember right. And then at this pass-through right here, it switches to a 1% or 0.5%. I don't remember. I love seeing the gear train underneath it and whatnot. So I'm gonna cut reg down to 66%. You can see where I kind of humped over right there. And I believe this is 1% until halfway through, then switches to 0.05%. That's another change they made. So you used to have it in quarter increments, and now it's half increments. I'm not sure I like it. I think I'd prefer it to have been in the quarter increments still, but I'm not the one who made this game, so I'm just the one who plays this game, so I have to kind of take it as they make it. And you can see that the wall kind of doesn't make full contact there, but I think it's because the center of it still makes contact that it said, okay, you can still make this. Man, these trestles look so cool. Not very realistic. I'll say that, not very realistic, but I did not want to make I would have had to make a 3.5% grade to get down to that flat down there. I clicked off screen there for a second. So if we X out this little flat area back there where you can kind of see where we hooked around, I would have had to be at like 3.5% to make it up. I don't think I could have made it up. So at least not with this load. I would have had to have taken like 2 cars at a time in Betsy. That, or I would have had to wait until I got a bigger train. I could have brought some stuff to the freight depot and earned some money to buy that train, but I'd rather not. I'd rather earn my money and then spend my money as I need. So coming up here on the iron mine, we're gonna drop our beams and boards, and we're gonna pick up a load of iron down to the iron refinery. I can't remember what it's called. I should have looked well on the map. The Smelter. I did clear all the trees out from up here, but that's because I eventually want to make a bypass line out here also, and maybe even like a turntable, just to add to the ambiance. It's nothing, there'll be nothing fantastic, just something to add something to do up here, you know? Brakes aren't strong. And this should make 15 iron, if I remember right. I'm just forward here and look. Yep, we have 15 iron. So three three uh three beams, 6 boards makes 15 iron. I don't know if I would have done that. I might have done like 12 iron, but it will make it easier if I decide to really bulk up this operation. I can do 2 beam cars, 2 board cars, 3 hopper cars, and then I can have 3 or 4 of the cordwood cars. Now that's a pretty big train to bring up this line, but who knows? That might be a challenge for the future. I pull. I have to say I like that it does give me a little bit extra to play with, so that if I spill some, it doesn't. I'm not going to be wasting. I will be wasting resources, but I'm not ever going to leave here without a full load. I think I'm full here. Nope, 9. Now I'm full. So, just going to tie this back brake, put the train in tension as I'm going down the hill. There are still some iffy sections and some sections where if you're not paying attention, you will yeet your train right off the side of the hill. And with me being fully loaded here, I'm going to need to take off one of the brakes. It's too much brake. Probably have turned up the volume so you guys can listen to the train a little bit more than just me. Oh wait, it's not even recording the desktop audio. Turn on the desktop audio so you guys can listen. Let's see. Oh. There we go. Now you guys have sound. I'm not going to re-record this entire video just because you guys didn't have sound, but I have a little hill right here, and then I can cut the rag. I would like to go back through here and kind of straighten this out a little bit, but I think it's good enough. I would also like to delete some of the walls in here. So I had to use the walls because of the groundwork. It before it used to stop at the ground. Now it doesn't, so it just continues and just spills over, and it looks like kind of crap. So I use I use the stone groundwork to just make it look better, in my opinion. But it's not very realistic. Like in here, I could probably really get away with groundwork. So I want to kind of trim it back and only use the stonework where I need to, like right here. All right, coming down Bare Rock. That's what I'm gonna call this passage from now on, is Bare Rock. Don't ask me why. It came to me while I was working. I'll show you guys as we pass it why I call it Bare Rock. And not bear as in like bare naked. I mean bear as in like the Berenstain Bears. What's that rock? So right here, this is why I'm going to call it Bear Rock, because from a certain angle, it kind of looks like a bear. I can't find the right angle, but that rock right there is the reason why I'm calling it. That actually handled it a lot better than I thought. I think because putting that back car in brake mode, putting it in tension, it really helps to keep this thing straight. I would like to see, once I get a train that's a little bit more stable, how it handles this, but for now, this is what I have to deal with. I think this is 4% the whole way down, so I'm going to need to brake a little here. Take off the rag. I brake. This is another area where I kind of need to clean up because it's a little squiggly. I kind of wish they'd added like a brake sound, not like a screeching, not like a the nails on a chalkboard, but just a sound that says, "Hey, we're braking," almost like a brake whine or a brake chatter or something like that. I'm gonna turn up the audio just a little. This is so much better with the trees still in here versus when I had all the trees cleared out. Up here you'll see a switch that'll be going out towards the that'll be going up towards the iron ore, no, coal mine. So with the brake on in the back, it's definitely slowing me down quite a bit. And there's a little switch off. I'm a little worried about taking off from up here though, because because of just how steep this hill is right here. So some people have been able to handle it no problem, but so this is, I think I made this 5% the whole way, and it does get a little ways away. So this is not 5%. I think this is 2.5% right here. But a little bit further down, it gets down to 5%. Right here, I think, is where it crests. And I don't see a loaded train going out to the coal mine making it up this hill. I'm sorry, I don't see it. I might need to make it where I need to make a branch off over there, so that I need to come up the entire side of the mountain only to come back down and then go that way, because I don't know how it's going to handle it. Well, I'll just leave it at that. I don't know how it'll handle it. And like, this is the best I can make it. Like, I might be able to bump this up to like 4.5%, but then the groundwork gets really tall really fast. Look at how fast those little wheels are turning. I don't really like the motion blur that they put in this, but this is going to be a really long video. I don't even know how much I'm at. The current recording is just knocking on 20 minutes now. Oh, out of fuel. I'll load up when we get down to the bottom. Flicks the switch over. I should almost get out and flick the switch back, but I don't want to leave this train going down the hill in free mode. That's one of the places where I'd like to have a sprung switch, so that I'm always going to go back up that way unless I switch it back, but not very realistic, I get that much. I don't even know if I would have needed to keep that back car braked. It's helpful that I did, but if they ever add maintenance to this game, yeah, I'm gonna need to do a lot of brake maintenance if I leave them just dragging the brake like that. We'll see which way this brings us, and then I'll show you whichever way I unload the cordwood here. Alright, so it's going to bring us to the left, so I'm going to unload it the more traditional way. If I go the other way, I can just drive in and unload the cordwood, but it's not very traditional. So, let's unload the iron ore. Do this break. Redo that one's done. Redo this one. Pull the pin. That break is off. So some wood in the fire right quick. Had to yet. That's kind of surprising. I threw some in at the logging camp, but it's been a long time since the logging camp. Okay, why can't I get back into this thing? There we go. I like that they added shunting in this game. I know that some people might not appreciate it. I do. I really like that they added this. This is how it might be done in the real world. That little S curve that I had before just really wasn't realistic. As I have trestles that line the entire wall of the canyon going up. Yeah, realistic. I take it where I can get it. Alright, so what am I at for funds? I'm up to $623. I think I started with right around $200 at the start of this match. So $400 for a load. I could do a lot worse. And when I get the larger locomotive, I can run a I can run a double train of this up the hill. That 060 is like twice as powerful, or I think 3 times actually as powerful as the Betsy. Why is regular not regular? Now that was a fact. Alright, and I'm going to leave this to go around. I'm going to try and race it up the... Try and get up to the switch before it does. Again, not safe railroading practices. They would never do this in real life. Why did I put the switch? I should probably pull some of the troops back from this line also, but oh well. I think I hear the train right behind me, so... Oh, at 100% reg, so she should be making it. I hope she... Oh, there she is. Put on my hitchhiker's thumb and my nylon-clad leggings. That would have killed me in real life, but... I tried so hard to make this path coming down from the from this plateau up here go past this waterfall, and I could not. I cannot believe how hard it was to try and do it. I spent probably a solid 3 days playing this game trying to do it, and it just was not possible. I also tried finding another path for this that didn't involve this huge trestle going up the middle of the valley. I could not find another way. I tried running. I even tried running just below this down in this valley right here, trying to come down, loop it around, and then come back, and I could not make it work. Holy cow, I could not make it work. It was so difficult. I have to say, I don't really like this here, but I'll deal with it being here for now. But yeah, I don't like this here. So a little bit on my numbering system. So I want to show you guys this this bridge as we go underneath it, and I'll show you guys some of my numbering system. You'll see 301 on the car there. So all of the locomotives will be double digit, 01, 02, 03, and so on. I don't think we'll get 100 locomotives. And underneath the bridge we go. This is honestly, this is one of my favorite features that I've added, that I've improved on. But as we're cruising along this valley here, I just want to show you guys. So these will be all 101 or 100s. These will be 100s, 200s, 300s, 400s, 500s, 600s, and then these will be 700s, 800s, and I'm not going to number these. So then I'm going to number these as I see fit. But I will say this, that the numbering system is not going to line up with how the locomotives fall. You'll have to see it when I start numbering them, because I did kind of hint that I'm going to be numbering them off the off Thomas the Tank Engine. So, yeah. I cannot believe how straight I can make these rail lines now also. Look how straight these are. I love it. I could have looped over here and whatnot and not had to build this trestle, but I just decided to keep it straight. And that is our loop. From here, you've kind of seen everything else. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this was a really long episode. I'm gonna bet that we're knocking on a solid hour now. I hope you guys enjoyed. Still, take care, stay safe, and I'm gonna go back to grinding out some resources and railroads online.